Bell rolls is the reporter thrown into the secretive world of the Forex Super Model, where nothing is as it seems. Beware the techno monk, and steer clear of Professor Code and his two assistants. Give the senior trader a wide berth, and don't expect any sense from the risk manager.
Good morning, I'm Professor Code. This is the Forex Super Model daily briefing for Tuesday the 8th of the 6th, 2021. Time is 0450 GMT, Asian session coming to close, European session firing up, our lunchtime, North American session. Right, yesterday, Monday the 7th, we had a negative unopposed driver in the dollar at -94, no backdoor flows, the opposing positive flows mainly going into the yen at +58, into the euro at +19, and the pound was the positive rock at +17, activity plus or minus 94. Intra-week then, this is from Monday the 7th, yesterday to about 15 minutes to the open. We've got a negative opposed driver in the dollar at -62, front and backdoor flows mainly going into the yen at +32, into the euro at +31, and the pound is the negative rock at -1, activity plus or minus 63. Finally then, intraday, this is Tuesday the 8th today, open to about 15 minutes ago. We've got a positive opposed driver in the dollar at +34, front and backdoor flows mainly coming out the yen at -26, out the pound at -20, and the euro is the positive rock at +12, activity plus or minus 46. Right, what's been knocking it about? Well, what do we had? We had yesterday late, we had Japan JPY GDP came in mildly positive. Today we've got Euro GDP and US trade balance, which is a tier 2 event. America's likely to have been sucking in consumables due to the furlough arrangements as well, so it's likely to be a good solid deficit there for US. Wednesday the 9th then, tomorrow we've got China CPI, CAD rates decision, and interestingly Canada's easing restrictions on the virus starting to, so bear that in mind. And Thursday the 10th, ECB rates decision, Euro rates decision, and what else? We've got China's being subtly suggesting to Australia it needs to look for other purchases of its iron ore, and Australian inflation expectations are starting to creep up, well, inevitably. Right, so that's where we are. Let's have a look at the flows and the asset classes. Our trades are about 3,050 points in profit from a peak of 6,500. So they've never really recovered from that peak yet, but we'll see what's going on. So what have we got? Euro is strong, except against the dollar, the CAD and the Swiss. The yen is weak, except against the pound and the NZD. The pound is weak across the board. The Swiss is strong, except against the dollar. The CAD is strong, except against the Swiss and the dollar. The AUD is weak, except against the pound, the yen and the NZD. The NZD is weak, except against the pound and the yen, which are weaker, and the dollar is strong across the board. So right, what have we got? We've got dollar strength and pound weakness. Sounds familiar from yesterday, and then it all turned round, but we'll see. So that's what we've got there. So if we have a look at the other asset classes, start with the US dollar index. Right, let's get rid of that then. So US dollar index basically looks like this. It's bounced a bit. 90, nothing much though. 90.06, and then gold's sort of dirging around. It's 0.23 from the high. Oil has come off, having broken, and it's what is it? It's about 0.14 from the high now, from the break. So still above. Wall Street's basically gone sideways, and it's just sub the highs. It's about 0.12 on the high. The S&P similar, 0.03. So S&P is basically nearly at the high, and the tech is 0.17 from the high. So the tech's come up. The S&P is very knocking on the door, and Wall Street's a little bit behind, not much. Right, US 10-year and the bond. Well, the US 10-year has been very choppy. It's been doing this sort of stuff, and it's now coming up in price, so yields are coming off a little bit. Right, despite we've got a strong dollar in the Asian session. Right, and the bond. The bund has got this sort of look to it. It's about 0.5 from that modelled high or the floor. Right, so US yields have come off a bit because the price is relatively high relative to German bunds or European 10 years effectively. Right, so copper's got this sort of look. It's 0.45 from the high. It's still soft, still messing about with commodities, and the US steel it's got basically sold off at the double top, and then it's about 0.4 from the high. So it's still relatively soft. Right, so let's just do the final analysis then. So yesterday, basically, we thought that the dollar was going to strengthen via the Asian session, and the end result was the dollar actually negatively drove the market. It was the unopposed negative driver. So it turned around in the Asian session. So we're still short USD against the euro, the pound, the CAD, and the AUD. We're short NZD against the euro, the pound, the CAD. So not the CAD there, and the AUD. So we're short the dollar against the euro, pound, and AUD, but we've added the CAD short on the NZD. Right. We've got CAD rates decision tomorrow. They're opening Canada up a little bit. That's having a bearing on that. We've got the euro rates decision tomorrow, Thursday. So we're going to get a fair amount of movement in the market and noise. So as I say, we're about plus 3k on the points from a peak of plus 6.5. So we're just grinding on. We feel our positions are in the right position. If anything, we're trying to add to our AUD NZD long. We still haven't managed to do that, and it hasn't really moved, to be fair. Right, so there you go. That's where we are. Hope that was useful. See you again for the daily briefing tomorrow. Thank you.